Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 25 of Divine FM. And oh my goodness, it's actually 10:10 p.m. unfortunately. And it's very serendipitous how today's episode 25 and we just so happen to be on the 5/5/2025 portal. Very serendipitous. Very very serendipitous. Anywho, not planned, but today's episode is about stepping into your power and grit. I wanted to talk about basically the concept of being the hero of your own story because that's basically where I'm at this point in my life. It's not that I don't think I can rely on people around me. It's more so like I'm in this place of finally actually getting down to the nitty gritty, like those last couple of fears and doubts and things, that I still have that I need to get past, the last little hump. I feel like in order to really get to that next level of life where, not even next level of life, the next step, next stage of my evolution, I guess, of me in general in my life. I just feel like, I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I just feel like this month specifically, and just the energy in general, is feeling very heavy and transformational all at the same time. And I just have a feeling that I'm gonna have some big life changes coming up very soon. Not that I have anything lined up as of right now. Like, this is not me saying, guys, my life is changing and this is why. Like, I have nothing on the docket and I have no, like, I don't know, outside sources to prove this other than the fact that I have a feeling. Like, I can feel it in my bones. And that's that. Also, Heather, shout out. Oh my god, 222 on the timer. How's the audio for you? Is it better? I turned it up a lot more today, so if it has been bothering you guys that the audio was too quiet, you can thank Heather because she called my ass out and told me that it was too quiet. Thank God. 24 episodes in, and I finally get something right. Okay, that was totally kidding. That was totally a fib. I was totally kidding. Not facts. I do a lot of things right, actually. But I can admit I am not perfect. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. Today is... Oh, wait. I haven't done my highs and lows yet. I forgot about those. Well, of course, my high is my market. So, let me not talk about that. Let me just go to the low first. I guess my low... I don't know. My low and my high kind of go hand in hand, honestly. Because, like, both of them had a really good moment and a really bad moment. So I guess I'll go both. So basically, this past Saturday was a very bittersweet day for me. Oh my god, sorry. I just popped my knuckle. My very good friend, Helly J, passed away a little under 5 years ago, I believe. To that day, it was her birthday that day. And she passed away very soon after her birthday, or I can't remember exactly the day she passed away, but it's besides the point. She passed away about 5 years ago, and it was her birthday on Saturday, and she was just very, very, very heavy on my mind, and so I planned to go out to the ranch with my dad, and to just, I don't know, he had some stuff we needed to do out there, changing feeders and cameras and stuff like that. Just spending the day out in nature, basically, with my dad and no one else. And me and my dad had a really good experience together. It's really nice to bond with him and spend time with him because we're very, very similar. but us being so similar also is like a double-edged sword, because we can't go more than 5 minutes together without bickering about something or getting into an argument. And it's not always like bad, you know, but we had probably our worst argument yet. Oh, I have to cough real quick. Sorry. We had our probably worst argument yet, but it also ended in him apologizing to me for the first time, like, ever. At least in my adult life. Like a genuine apology about just simple miscommunication happening, but like the fact that, you know, he took accountability for his actions just said a lot. And I was so appreciative of it. And like, I don't even know, the energy of that day was so heavy in the morning. And then I also ended up starting my period that day, which was really, I don't know, expected but not, because I started right, okay, this is TMI, guys, but whatever, I don't care. I started right on the day of my 28-day cycle, so I'm very happy about that. I have an awesome cycle happening, but like, low-key, I thought it wasn't happening for another like 2 or 3 days, so I was not prepared, and I got really, really sick on the way home from the ranch. And so my day ended in me like literally getting so sick. Like, I'm not going to go into the details, but let's just say I was very sick. And the next day I had a market unexpectedly, because this guy, I think his name is Nick. What's his last name? I can't remember his last name on top of my head. His name is Nick for sure. He's this like super hot guy, plays guitar, has this mustache. He's in this band called Street Lamp. And I literally cannot with myself. I went to this market specifically because he invited me to go to like vend at the market EP release situation. And I go and I try to see all of the bands at one point or another, but they start so late that I don't even get to see them perform. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I hate that for me. I'm still cringing at myself because I really wanted to see them perform. I listened to their entire EP before going to the market because I wanted to, like, be prepared, you know? And it was so good. But no. But yeah, also, that was my high, yet, like, I don't know. There was low-key some drama that happened that night. And I was not expecting that whatsoever because I freaking hate drama. And I don't like to be involved with people who, like, you know, have drama in their life. So honestly, it's like a high and a low because, you know, I gained a really good experience, and I also lost someone who I like didn't need in my life because obviously I wasn't good for them and they weren't good for me. I don't know, like, life is very mysterious, but I'm glad that I don't have like a super strong attachment to things or relationships or people anymore, because it's not as hard for me to just move on. Like, I can rely on myself, but I also know that I have a very strong and loving connection with enough people in my life that I can rely on, that I don't need people in my life who are slimy, who, you know, just want to try and manipulate me or whatever. You know the type of people that I'm talking about. We don't want those kind of people in our life. So, if anyone toxic in your life, guys, cut them out. Because the longer you keep them in, the longer you're literally letting them steal your energy. Anyway, let's get on with the podcast. Today's topic is stepping into your power and grit. Let's look up the definition of grit. Not grits like the food made out of corn. Not grits. Grit. Grit, in the context of personal characteristics, refers to a combination of passion and perseverance, particularly for a long-term goal. It's about maintaining effort and interest in something despite obstacles and challenges, and can be a significant factor in achieving success. Period. Grit is often associated with pursuing goals that require sustained effort over a considerable period rather than just short-term gains. Not just talent. While talent can be a starting point, grit is often support. I cannot freaking talk. For someone who has a podcast, I cannot freaking talk. Okay, just kidding. While talent can be a starting point, grit is often considered a more important factor in achieving success, as it provides the drive to push through challenges and continuous progress. In essence, grit is about having the stamina and unwavering determination to pursue your passions and goals, even when things get tough. It's a powerful combination of passion and perseverance that can be a key ingredient in achieving both personal and professional success. Period. The Oxford Dictionary wants to tell me that grit is small, loose particles of stone or sand. Guys, I'm just going to be talking about small, loose particles of stone/sand this entire podcast. I'm literally just kidding. What the fuck? I think grit is absolutely the most important thing you need in order to succeed. And, life comes with its batch of challenges. And we cannot sit here and act like it's going to be easy sailing, easy going, smooth sailing, all the time, I like to believe that, toxic positivity is the way to live, and it is a false reminder every time something happens in my life, and it happens quite often, that shakes my foundation and reminds me that, oh my god, positivity isn't the only thing that can save you. It's not the only thing that can make life easier. Sometimes we just have to sit in our feelings. We have to sit in the ick, in the dirt, and what's actually bothering us and what's making us uncomfortable, what's triggering us. We have to sit with it and not just sit with it, learn to become best friends with the uncomfortability, because that is the only way you can actually move forward in life. Actually, imagine, whenever I think of grit and being I don't know, not being, but just persevering in general, I think of whenever people go to those mud races and stuff, and you're physically not just being pulled back by your tiredness and the obstacles, but there's also that level of basically less gravity, gravity working against you, because you have all the heavy mud on you, and so it's just so much harder to do everything, just to run, just to climb, it's a million times harder, yet these people are willingly signing up to do this mud run, and so obviously they have it inside of them to achieve the goal of succeeding. And I think the same concept goes with anything else in your life whenever we're trying to achieve a certain goal, but we need to have that grit in order to, step into that power and actually be able to be on the path to achieving that certain thing. And it takes patience too, is a huge factor when it comes to wanting to actually be successful long term, not just short term, cheap and easy route. No one wants to go that route, guys. We don't want cheap and easy success, because that's not long lasting. We want a stable foundation. We need balance, and we need peace, in order to, achieve happiness and success and everything. And it just makes so much more sense to me to look at it that way and see things on a much more simple level of, if I have, inner peace, if I have a foundation, inner foundation of I have a good relationship with my family, good relationship with myself, good relationship with my friends, I have a steady job, and I am taking good care of my body, and I'm eating healthy, and I'm taking good care of my space, and I'm sleeping enough, and I'm, taking good care of, my debt and all of these things, like there's a lot of factors that go into having that balance, but, just writing them down is a good way to have them compiled and can make it less overwhelming. But once you can see that perspective, I think that it's a lot easier to set a long-term goal for yourself and actually achieve it, because there's a lot of long-term goals when it comes to just taking care of yourself. That first step, like paying off debt, for example. I've been actively trying to pay off my debt for almost a year now, and I'm slowly inching towards my goal of paying it off, but I know that I'm not going to achieve that goal until I make an abundant make like a, how do you say, I make much more money, than I am making now every paycheck, and like I'm working towards that goal actively as well, but like there's just so many steps that go into it, but you have to have that grit, that perseverance in order to, wake up every day and not just, grind towards your goals, but do it with grace and with joy and, in a balanced way to where we're not burning out. And it's not an easy balance, and it's not always going to be perfect and easy. I just said easy twice. It's not always going to be, how do you say, the way you imagine it in your head. Life always is unexpected, but if we can be easy on ourselves and just, I'm recording this podcast without any notes, and it's a lot harder to do. So I'm sorry if this isn't making as much sense as my other ones. But anyways, I just think that as long as you're gentle with yourself, and because I feel like I'm bad. I was just listing out like so many things that you need to do in order to like achieve grit in like an easy way, or to just like have grit consistently. But it's not even to have grit. Like you don't have it, It's something that you show based on your actions, I suppose, by actively showing up for yourself every single day, that is grit. That's being perseverant. That's being resilient. And it's not something that you have to do every day, Life's all about balance, of course. And sometimes having grit is making sure that you're getting enough sleep and making sure that you're not going too hard in the gym and pushing yourself too hard. Sometimes, like, for example, I've been trying to plan out my week, and I'm stressing about the fact that I'm not going to be able to hit the gym more than like 4 times this week because I have so much going on. But some of the activities that I'm doing that are not the gym are active activities. Like, me and my friend are starting a run club, and so I'm going to be doing that 2 times a week. So that's going to be taking up 2 evenings of gym time. And I'm also trying to see my friends sometimes and see my sister, and also be home and like spend time with my family, and just be present at home whenever I'm not at work. And so I have to remember that I'm at a point in my fitness routine and just in my life in general where I don't need to see the gym as a necessity to where my mental health will feel unstable if I don't go. Like, I feel balanced enough to where if I'm at least standing up for 3/4 of my day at work and I have to take an off day at the gym, I at least come home and I do a 30-minute yoga routine, or I do an ab workout, or I go and I walk a couple of laps around the neighborhood. And I do some sort of physical activity, not because I feel forced to, but because I know that my body will thank me later. Because I'm going to be crampy, and I'm going to feel stiff, and I'm going to just feel not my best self if I don't do some form of physical activity. And so I just have to remember that And remember that that's a form of love. That's a form of resilience, is to push yourself in a way that is not overdoing it, but is just enough to where you feel that sense of comfort and you feel that sense of love from yourself, that you're like, you know what? Thank you. It's like having that accountability partner that you always wanted, but it's finally yourself. And it takes having some discipline, but, you know, and please don't get me wrong. Like, I have this podcast because I'm trying to give advice, and so please don't take that I'm, like, thinking that I'm doing everything right all the time, because I'm only giving this advice because I have learned through my mistakes, obviously. Like, I have made countless mistakes. Every day I make mistakes, and I learn from my mistakes. I've learned as of recently that it's okay to change your mind, you know? Like, one part of being resilient is to push really hard for your goals and dreams, but sometimes we change our minds, and that's a really hard reality to face whenever you're putting a lot of effort into something that you care about a lot, but maybe something happens in your life that makes you flip a switch, and guess what? You don't care about it anymore. And that's okay. You're more than allowed to change your mind. And then being able to forgive yourself and allow yourself to change your mind is also a form of grit, is also a form of resilience, because it is so hard not to be self-deprecating. Like, everyone can agree. Like, there's not a single person listening to this podcast right now that will not agree with this freaking statement, that all of us at one point or another are self-deprecating, are mean to ourselves about the stupidest shit. Like, it can be like what pants you're wearing. It can be how you wrote that specific word on your page. Like, it is the most stupidest shit that we are hard on ourselves about. And it can just be like our internal dialogue, but we still have it, you know? Like, being able to, like, see that and still be like, you know what, I forgive you. I'm not perfect, but, like, also shut the fuck up, internal dialogue. You're not me. You're just words. And I can be like, I don't believe you. You're just words, and move on. And being able to, like, check up on yourself and be that accountability partner is so, so powerful. And I have learned that that's, like, a really powerful tool to have. And it's really hard to be disciplined enough to check up on yourself all the time, enough to, you know, be that accountability partner, like being the DD of the party every time. You know, it's always a fucking buzzkill. But do we want to be billionaires? Do we want to change the world? At least I do. And I have a lot of goals for myself that have reasons behind them that I don't feel the need to explain, because if you know me as a person and you watch my content, I guess, and you know my intention behind my actions, you know that, like, I don't know, I've just been through enough, and I've learned enough, and I've gotten myself to a point in life where I don't feel the need to explain myself anymore. I'm simply here to help. I'm simply here to be a light and a guide and a source of love for those who find me and need me. And I'm more than willing to be here, because that's what I'm here for, you know? So yeah, today I challenge you to ask yourself, where can I have more grit in my life? Where can I persevere? Where can I show my sense of resilience today? And then prove to yourself how resilient you are, because you are so resilient. You are so powerful. You have grit. You got that grit. You got that grit. And you can do it. I believe in you. So yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome week. And I'll see you next time on Divine FM. Bye, guys.